Hey friends, what's up? So today we're going to be talking about the ENTJ and how to make them fall head over heels madly in love with you. There are a couple of things that you gotta do. Hey, that rhymed. But anyway, I'm in the mood to do pop-up videos these days where I just say, there's no rhyme, there's no reason, I'm just feeling this. And so I'm gonna put it out there. So make sure you subscribe so you can get my videos because I'm gonna put out some good ones. In fact, if you want me to do another video like this one, then put in the comments what Myers-Briggs type you want me to do it on, right? Because I want to do the videos that you want me to do, that you're interested in. So be sure to do that. Hit the subscribe button, hit that bell so that you know when I release new videos. So without further ado, let's get into the ENTJ. Ooh, ooh. All right, so ENTJs, if you want them to find you to be attractive, then you got to be sweet or kind, but be willing to challenge them at times. At the same time, you don't want to challenge them. I know, that was like a contradiction, right? Is that romantic? If you're constantly challenging them or upping them, let's say that the ENTJ is the male and you are a female of another type and you're constantly challenging them. Guess what? They're already doing that at work every day, all day long. And so to bring that into their romantic relationship, you got to think of an ENTJ. What's tough on the inside, but like really like gooey on the inside, you know? So they have a tough exterior, outer shell. But when it comes to romance, male or female, you can truly be their soft spot. You can melt them. You can be that place that they can kind of let their hair down, that they can relax, that they can be vulnerable, that they can let their defenses down and actually share with you what's really, really, really going on. But you got to create a safe place in order for them to do that. So by challenging them, I'm just saying they probably would be attracted to a softie, but they could also be attracted to someone who's feisty or someone who's very confident and sure of themselves and not afraid to teach them something new or be who you are. Because sometimes when you encounter a personality like an ENTJ that's very, very strong, you might think, well, I gotta be exactly like them. They will admire you for that to a certain degree, but it's okay to say, hey, what about this viewpoint? Or let's think about things in that way or this way, or here's a new way to do this. It doesn't mean that you have to spar them like you're in a tennis match or a battle of some kind. You don't have to be confrontational in that way, but it is okay to challenge them. I would say try to use some tact. Try to use some tact. But at the same time, if there's something that you feel strongly for, stand up for it. Tell them why you feel that way. These are my reasons. It doesn't have to be that you may think, okay, well, I really feel strongly about something, so I don't know how to kind of go halfway. And since they're such a dominant force, then I'm just going to go after them and just yell at them and talk to them like they're crazy. That's not going to win points. You still need to do it in a tactful way. So even though they're extroverted intuitives, which makes them like some level of variety, they also have that sense of sturdiness, stability. So something that you'll want to do with an ENTJ that can help them to fall in love with you is to develop something that the two of you do together. It could be you go get ice cream on Sundays, or you go to the movies every couple of weeks and that becomes your thing. Or you take a walk on the beach every Monday morning at 8 or whatever. But you got to find something that the two of you do. And it could be something that everyone in the whole world does. But if you can develop a pattern with it, they will feel a lot closer to you and more bonded because they will feel like this is something that we do. Like, this is our thing. We slow dance to music on a certain day, or once a month, or develop those types of things with them. It will make them like you even more. ENTJs can be a very dominant, strong personality type. And so somebody who's mating with them can make the mistake of seeing them that way in a romantic relationship. But it's not a dictatorship, and they don't want a dictatorship in a relationship. More than likely they're going to be leading in some capacity at work. And so it needs to be a place where, number one, can you find their silly spot? Like, where we're going to just be playful and you're going to bring some fun to them and some happy. They are suckers for laughter. If you can find a funny movie that you can watch together. Now, that doesn't mean that you go to the grocery store and you hula hoop in the middle of the grocery store, because they're probably going to confront you on that if it's inappropriate. However, don't put them in a straitjacket where you're thinking of them as, oh, they're so serious, and oh, I have to be perfect, and oh, I have to be so serious around them. They're actually quite playful, or want to be playful. I mean, they might not be pillow fight level playful, although they probably could go there, but just try to relax that energy. If you're the type of person that can help them to relax that natural, serious exterior and find their funny and also make them laugh and take the risk of being silly sometimes and goofy and playful. They like that. You know what I'm saying? They like humor. They like jokes. They want to laugh. They may not get to show that side at work, but in their romantic relationships, they're going to be a sucker for someone who has a sense of humor, or even if you can connect on some weird things that you find funny with each other. There are a funny joke or something funny that happened, they can be pretty darn hysterical. So you can make them fall madly in love with them if you can tap into their sense of humor and not see them as these super serious, you know what I'm saying? And like, even though they're natural leaders, you might be like, even if you're the female, you might feel like, oh, well, I have to let him make the decisions on everywhere that we're going. They actually, and see, this is a little tricky because I can tend to be pretty traditional, but I know with them, they might want to entertain what your thoughts are. Hey, I want to go to an amusement park, or let's go to a museum, or let's go hiking, or you can come up with some ideas for them. They will actually appreciate and enjoy that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there are other ways that if he's the male that he can take the lead, but it's okay for you to come up with some ideas or some things that you want to try, because more than likely they're going to want to try them too. Be willing to throw some date ideas out there. Now, is there something that you know that he doesn't know? Can you be intellectually stimulating? That is going to make them fall in love with you. If you can be intellectually stimulating, it doesn't mean that you have to be that way 24/7, but if there's something that you know, like Myers-Briggs types, and he or she doesn't, can you teach them some of that? Can you introduce them to some new concept and ideas? Because they're going to be very curious about it. They're going to enjoy learning something new from you, and they're going to be very impressed by how intellectual you are and the things that you know that they don't know. Like, that is a playground for them. So share with them what your interests are, what your ideas, how you think, your area of expertise. You could be great with plants, or you know how to create art, or you're a mathematician. Don't be afraid to share with them that side of you. They may also be attracted to you if there's a side of you that can be pretty intense in personality. Not crazy intense, but you're a deeper thinker. They will find that attractive. Now let's put a little spin on that. Let's say you're intense and you bring drama to the relationship. We fight, we make up. There's a certain level of seduction in that we're not getting along, or we have drama, or we're angry at each other for different things. But ultimately, they're gonna land on someone who is the opposite of that. So I think, you can be sexy, you can be flirty. I would definitely recommend that. Like, flirt, look good, look your best, say little things to them, or give them little pet names, or you can do all of those things, be charming, compliment them, let them know how attracted you are to them and why. So you can do all of those things, but when it comes to, we have this tension all the time, and now we're friends, and now we have the tension again, and we're fighting and arguing. They're more, even though they may be attracted to that type of intensity, in the long run, more than likely, they are not going to choose someone long term who's doing that. They might miss you, they might think about you. You may have left your mark with all that heightened craziness or chaos, but they're gonna end up with someone, or be the most attractive, or let's just say land on someone who they can just vibe with, that they find attractive, where there's no pressure, someone who they find interesting, and that they feel safe and celebrated by. So you admire them, you see their amazing qualities. You don't challenge them on that, or put them down, or make them feel bad about themselves. You are a safe place to fall, because they want to be able to get to their vulnerable core, because at the center of an ENTJ is vulnerability. If you have to be Mr. or Mrs. Tough Stuff all the time, when do you get to relax? When do you get to share in that soft spot, or be accepted for being romantic and kind and gentle and all of those things? They want to find that in you. So it's someone that over time it evolves into an awesome, reciprocal, positive relationship. So they're more than likely going to end up with someone who's friendly and kind. So keep that in mind if you want to attract them long term. It doesn't mean that you have to be boring, or that you have to be serious all the time. You can have different layers of your relationship, but just remember those things: the kindness, the respect, the feeling safe. That's ultimately what's going to give themselves permission to stick with it, stay around, and even fall in love with you. So, there's something I want you to check. Do you feel intimidated by an ENTJ? If you are functioning in intimidation when you're in a relationship with an ENTJ, then it's not the right ENTJ for you. You got to find another ENTJ, or you got to find another type, because you don't want to function in a place of constant intimidation. That isn't fun, is it? You don't want to live your whole life that way. So even though they can kind of have very dominant, strong personalities, another mistake that some people might make is, hey, you know what? I got to show him, let's say if he's a male, I got to show him that I'm a tough female and I can handle him and I can stand up to him and I can be combative and I'm not gonna back down and he doesn't intimidate me. That is also the wrong approach. Now, are there going to be moments when an ENTJ is going to feel very strongly about things? Might there be times when they feel a little frustrated or tired or a little agitated and they may say things in a very direct, straightforward manner? Yes, but you can let that go. Like, it doesn't have to be a point of contention or, oh my God, now I have to walk on eggshells. It was simply a moment. As long as they're not hitting you or cussing you out, they have a strong personality. So sometimes they're not gonna be wimpy. They're gonna be straightforward at times. Can you take that? Can you take that and still be yourself and jump off of that and just, okay, we had a moment, but I'm still going to be myself. I'm still going to be kind. I'm not going to be fighting and arguing. So again, don't take their hearty, argumentative, and robust style and their high need for control to mean, don't translate that into that you need to be that way in a relationship with them. That is not what they're looking for. That is not what they want. And that's not going to go very far long term. They are going to have a soft spot for you. And in order to make them fall in love with you, then you're going to have to tap into that soft spot and really have the ability to draw that out. And remember, they're actually quick-witted and gregarious. The ENTJ's home is an arena for all sorts of pursuits. Relationships tend to be open, honest, and stimulating. That's what they want. So, some people may look at them as abrasive, but when you really get to know them deeply, you know that their bark is bigger than their bite. And they believe that relationships should grow and develop over time. Which brings me to another point. You might feel like you're off to the races, like, hey, I want to close this deal really quick and I want to make this relationship happen really fast. But sometimes slower and steady instead of, hey, I'm getting to the finish line right away and haven't given this relationship time to develop. Sometimes an ENTJ will know, hey, I love this person, or there's just something about them that I'm feeling so strongly about. This is going to be my husband. This is going to be my wife. It's not to say that they can't feel that. In fact, that could be a good sign that it's the right person. But some relationships need to develop over more time so that you can relax your energy and truly get to know each other on a deeper level. If you want an ENTJ to fall madly in love with you, you need to make sure that you're engaging in conversation with them and allow them to explore. And communication is key with them. Relaxation may not come easily to an ENTJ, so how can you evoke romance? How can you bring the butterflies out? Think of some ways that you can evoke that in them. Of course, you don't want to be needy and super, if you're the female, you're super chasing them. They are going to be natural hunters. That doesn't mean that you don't let them know that you're interested or that you don't flirt or that you don't show caring and enjoy engaging in the relationship and show interest. I'm not saying that, but if you are the one that's heavily pursuing them and you're the female, that could be an issue. So keep that in mind. If you want to make them fall in love with you, validate them. Validate their thoughts. Make them feel heard. Listen to what they have to say. You don't want to be mean and putting them down all the time. That's not going to be cool, because you can make an ENTJ enter a lane in which they feel rejected, anger, and disappointment. And guess what happens next? They're going to shut down, and then you're not going to get to that emotional layer at all. So you want to help them to relax that energy so that you can get in there into the romantic side of them. That's super important. Now, something I want to address with you real quick about female ENTJs who may be watching, because it may come as a surprise to people, but they can become pretty hysterical, have a lot of crying fits, be super upset, have a really difficult time coping when they keep experiencing failed relationship after failed relationship after failed relationship after failed relationship. And what they have to realize is that there is some trial and error for everyone. Most people are going to have to kiss a lot of frogs, unfortunately, or kiss a few. If you don't, you are extremely lucky, but this can be an extremely frustrating, devastating, overpowering, overwhelming thing for an ENTJ female to experience. And they a lot of times will show that side, and I'm going to call it irrational, and we can all go into that lane, but they will show that side openly to the person that they're dating, or they're begging, pleading, I don't want to break up, this is, and they may also be open to showing that side to anybody who will listen and see, and it may fly in the face of their overall character, or how they present at work, or how they present in other situations is very tough and very strong. For some reason, relationships, when they're not working, can really be extremely upsetting to them, to the point where they may close the deal with somebody that they may not feel as attracted to, but hey, it's working, I'll take it, just to shut that piece down. And I actually wrote a book that addresses it by Tamara Zyon, but you will have to find my book on Amazon, because I don't really advertise it on this channel. But yeah, so what they have to realize is there's a lot being triggered in that. I talk about that in my book. And I think it's because they are very competent. They are very confident people. They're used to things working the way that they want them to work. They're used to being able to execute and make things happen. And when it just doesn't seem, things just don't seem to click, or it's not working, or it's not right, it can be extremely frustrating to them and difficult for them to understand. But when you're in the realm of a relationship, the rules are different. In some ways there are no rules, which can be really tough. And everybody is not a match for everybody. And so the person that you're dating, you may be the most wonderful person in the world, but they're not attracted to you because you're not making you something about your past and how you grew up is not connecting with theirs. It could have nothing to do with you. And so it's not one of those things that you can make happen like you can make a task or an assignment happen at work. Sometimes it is a matter of slowing things down, really getting that energy out, so that you're not repeating that cycle with the guy over and over and over again, and just slowing things down, really getting to know the person, calming that adrenaline energy that's wants to attach really badly, calming that down, taking things slower than what you want, in order to start to see clearly again. So when it comes to love in general, ENTJs may have things in their heads that they need to dispute. And these could be lies that they feed themselves, being that they're being mean, they're not able to accept nice people in their lives, not having patience. They may think it's difficult to live with someone else, but love can reveal things to them that they are not aware of. They may not know what they need. Someone being kind and sweet to them can really open them up. A good love will make them love themselves more. Someone who shows them sides of themselves that they don't know, or who gives them space to be who they are, who aren't judgy, can really make them feel good and love. Someone being empathetic, concerned about their well-being can really win them over and really touch them. They really embrace someone who's helpful. Those bits and pieces can rub off on them, and they can be surprised that they really like it, that they like that feeling. They can fall in love with someone who's fun, inspiring, tidy, helpful, balanced, who takes criticism and actually adjusts to it. Can you imagine that? Someone who embraces who they are and fit into the ENTJ's world instead of dictating who the ENTJ should be. When they get to be their best selves, they won't be able to not help you to be your best self. They like it when they can be to someone what they really want for themselves, and that is loving and supportive. They want to help you connect the dots and give you the support and encouragement that you're good enough also, and that things will work out because you have it all in you. So they want to be encouraging, supportive, pour into you in a way that you're pouring into them. So really keep that in mind. If you want an ENTJ to fall in love with you, this is how you do it. And by the way, some people get a strong personality type confused with a narcissist, but they are not the same. They are totally different. In fact, I wrote a book called The Workplace NaRCISSiST, and you definitely don't want to fall in love with one of them. You need to be able to differentiate, because some people find themselves in an entanglement with a narcissist like the one I wrote about. So check out my book. It's on Amazon by Tamara Zyon. And I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.